Okay, I know what you're thinking. Toon Gamer, didn't you already sign out from this game in the last part? Well, I kinda did, and I completely forgot that there was a few more Easter eggs that I forgot to uncover. Apparently, there's a few bonus cutscenes that you can watch, depending on the situation. I'll show you in a moment. Hey, paisanos! This is StoonGamer23, and welcome back to Let's Play Ducktales Remastered. So, in the last part, we went through the bonus contents and all that other jazz in here. There was some pencil sketches, and even some TV show art. Wonderful stuff. And, I kind of prematurely just kind of stated that I would devote just one more part to this game for the money bin, but apparently there's still some more Easter eggs to uncover. But, and there's a couple of things on the hard difficulty, but, I'm probably not going to go through much of that, but, well, you'll see in a minute. Okay, so mainly this is going to be a part about the cutscenes we haven't seen before, depending on certain situations in the Amazon, Transylvania, African mines, Himalayas, and the moon. The money bin and Mount Vesuvius, we've pretty much gotten all the cutscenes from there. And also, Mrs. Beakley also has some unique sayings for each level. Sometimes she'll just say she's come to find you in this quote-unquote filthy place and just gives you treats. But at other times she'll speak dialogue pertaining to that particular area. Okay, so we'll start off with the Amazon and see what happens there. Okay, so if you don't have all 8 ancient coins to unlock the beams of light to the hidden temple, you get this cutscene instead.
Come in, Launchpad. I found something. There's a carving of Manco Cupquack on this stone slab, and there's 8 succulent notches around it.
Sounds great. Does it tell us how to find the treasure?
Well, I'm not sure what it tells us, but I'm certain it's an important clue. Bless me bagpipes. These coins I found will fit perfectly into those notches.
Oh, you must have come across an ancient Incan poker table, Mr. McD. How about I come down there and you deal me in for a hand?
You come down here and I'll deal you a blow to the head. You're supposed to be keeping an eye out for trouble, remember?
All right. Trouble spotting it is.
Okay, well, never mind. Okay, so it was basically the same dialogue, just the coins don't go into the monument. Alright, so this cutscene plays if you haven't gathered any of the coins to the monument up ahead. So, yeah. Just as proof, the inventory's empty.
Come in, Launchpad. I found something. There's a carving of Manco Cupquack on this stone slab, and there's 8 succulent notches around it.
Sounds great. Does it tell us how to find the treasure?
Well, I'm not sure what it tells us, but I'm certain it's an important clue.
Oh, okay, so I guess it was, the first part of... I was thinking that they would say something different, but apparently not, so yeah, if you have some coins, then you'll get, 2/3 of the conversation, and if you get all 8, then, well, you basically saw already in part 2. Okay, so this is what usually comes out of Mrs. Beakley when we're in the Amazon temple.
Why are you here, Mrs. Beakley?
Why, I'm seeing that you get a proper meal, Mr. McDuck.
Okay.
You're always as good as you want, my dear.
Yeah, cake and ice cream. I'm pretty sure that's a proper meal. Nothing but junk food. Healthy junk food. Okay, so sometimes she says different things depending on the situation, or sometimes she'll just say to give you a quote-unquote proper meal. On medium difficulty, you'll get an extra life included with that, which comes in the form of a Scrooge McDuck doll. So yeah, there's that. Now, there are other times that Mrs. Beakley says something like this. It just varies at random.
Mrs. Beakley, what are you doing here?
I'll not have you risking your life on an empty stomach. No more danger till you eat every last bite.
Okay, you say so.
You're always as good as you want, my dear.
So yeah, sometimes she'll say generic sayings like that. It just varies at random. Even at certain points, even at certain other levels like Transylvania, the Himalayas, etc. Okay, bon appetit! Alright, what does Mrs. Beakley have to say for us this time?
Why are you here, Mrs. Beakley?
I'm just making sure you stick to your diet, Mr. McDuck.
Marvelous job, as usual, Mrs. Beakley.
You know, Mr. McDuck, these giant stone obelisks would make wonderful souvenirs for the boys.
Well, how would you get them home? Giant stone obelisks, huh? Yeah, those would be pretty handy souvenirs, but where would you put them? I mean, besides Scrooge's money bin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll think of something. He could think of something if that were the case. Okay, so there's a series of cutscenes that play out when you return to the foyer of the Haunted Mansion in Transylvania. If you haven't saved either Huey, Dewey, or Louie yet, you just talk to Webby.
Did you find them, Uncle Scrooge?
Not yet, Weathergale. But don't worry, I'll find my nephews even if it means taking apart this castle brick by brick.
I love that. Scrooge's dedication to... It just shows how much he cares for his nephews. That's what I like. Even though he's a molten millionaire, he still has a heart of gold for his family. And yes, that was a pun intended. Because if there's one thing Scrooge McDuck is worthy of, it's gold! And this is a cutscene that plays once you've rescued one of the three boys.
How's the search going, Uncle Scrooge? Did you find the other two yet?
Not yet, my dear, but this rat's maze won't get the best of me.
Gee, when Grammy loses things, she usually finds them in the basement or the attic.
Okay, so, yeah. Basically, yeah, that's kind of the layout. We already searched the basements, and now the attic is where one of them is located. So yeah, I guess in a sense, Webby was actually somewhat useful in this. That's saying something.
Yoo-hoo.
And this cutscene plays when you saved Huey and Dewey, but not Louie.
Just one more, Uncle Scrooge. I know you can do it.
Oh, thank you, Abigail.
Okay, so just short but sweet. Little Webby's just rooting her uncle on. Okay, so after you rescue the boys from Huey, Dewey, and Louie, after you rescue Huey, Dewey, and Louie from the Beagle Boys, and you go back to the main foyer before inspecting the magic mirror that leads you to Magica, this is the cutscene that happens.
We waited here just like you told us, Uncle Scrooge.
Well, you won't have to wait much longer, my dear. Now that I've got all 3 parts of the magic spell, I'm one step away from finding Dracula's lost coin.
Hold on a second. I thought you said there's no such thing as Dracula.
Aye, I did, but it's been a rather informative day. A few hours ago, I would have told you there wasn't such a thing as ghosts or walking skeletons either. Never mind, kids. I'm going to find the treasure, and then we can get away from this horrid place.
Yeah. Yeah, if you remember, just going through the mansion. I guess Scrooge had a rude awakening about the truth about ghouls and goblins. Okay, so this is what happens when you come to the magic mirror and you don't have... You haven't rescued either Huey, Dewey, or Louie, so you don't have any pieces of the tomes.
Days off again. What a strange mirror. I wonder how much it'd fetch at auction.
Okay. Okay, so yeah. Just how much it would fetch in an auction indeed. Okay, so this is what Mrs. Beakley says when you find her in Transylvania. Get up to her.
Mrs. Beakley, is that you?
It most certainly is. Why, just look at all these cobwebs. This place could use a woman's touch.
Indeed.
You're always as good as you want, my dear. There's a treasure nearby. I can smell it.
I just heard that. There's a treasure nearby. I can smell it. Only Scrooge McDuck knows the smell of gold and treasure all too well. Let's see what Mrs. Beakley has to say for us this time.
Mrs. Beakley, now where did you come from?
Why, from home, of course. I had to be sure you were all right in this filthy place.
Okay, we've already heard that before.
You're worth your weight in gold, Mrs. Beakley. If you'll pardon the expression.
Goodbye, Mr. McDuck, and be safe.
Ha-ha! Jackpot!
Indeed, jackpots with ice cream and sweet, sweet cake.
I didn't get rich by
It's a jackpot for his sweet tooth. If ducks had teeth, that is. When you're down in the African mines and you find Mrs. Beakley, this is usually what she's supposed to say.
Mrs. Beakley, now where did you come from?
Why, from home, of course. I had to be sure you were all right in this filthy place.
That's basically the default that she says.
You're worth your weight in gold, Mrs. Beakley. If you'll pardon the expression.
I hope you're taking care of the boys, Mr. McDuck. They're always finding their way into mischief.
Oh, well, the way she walks off. Okay, there's supposed to be another saying. Let me see if I can go back and try again and see if she'll actually say the... If... Okay. So anyway, you get the gist. That's not exactly what she was supposed to say corresponding to this place, but let me go back and try again. Okay, this is what's usually said by Mrs. Beakley down in the African mines level. That...
Why are you here, Mrs. Beakley?
The center of the earth is quite toasty, Mr. McDuck. I wanted to make sure you dressed in layers.
I don't think that's a problem.
You're worth your weight in gold, Mrs. Beakley. If you'll pardon the expression.
Huh, of course. But I'll find my own way out, thank you very much.
Still never get tired of her animation when she's walking away. Okay, so yeah, that's basically what she says in the African mines. How she got down here, no one knows. Alrighty. What does Mrs. Beakley have to say to us this time?
Mrs. Beakley, what are you doing here?
I'm just making sure you stick to your diet, Mr. McDuck.
Diet, huh?
Ah, thank you kindly, dear.
It's nice to see you, but I can take care of myself very well, thank you.
Yeah, I know we've already, I'm pretty sure we've already heard that saying before, but it's still funny. How can you stick to your diet with cake and ice cream? Let's see what Mrs. Beakley has to say for us down in the mines. I have to grab that.
Why are you here, Mrs. Beakley?
These mines are so damp, Mr. McDuck. I wanted to remind you to wear a sweater.
Okay, that's something new.
Ah, thank you kindly, dear.
All right then. Goodbye, Mr. McDuck. I'll see you back in Duckburg.
So yeah, for some areas, what I've seen so far, Mrs. Beakley actually says 2 unique sayings. Like for one, she says that the center of the earth is warm and toasty. She wants to make sure you're dressed in layers. And other times she'll say that it's damp, and she wants to make sure that Scrooge packed his sweater. Once again, genius writing. Alright, so this cutscene plays when you don't have all the 3 pieces for the fuel regulator. As you can see, I've only gathered 1 out of 3. So here's what happens when you come back to Launchpad, either empty-handed or with only 1 or 2 of the pieces. Let's give this can a whack.
Will wonders never cease? Launchpad, that crate looks almost airworthy.
Don't crack up, but you can't fix them, I always say. Any luck finding that fuel regulator?
Ugh, no. Some wee beasties ran off with it in pieces. They've got to be down there somewhere.
All right, but I'm gonna need it before I can finish any more repairs.
Is there not something else to keep you busy while you wait?
Nope.
Good. Enjoy the downtime then.
Gee, thanks, boss.
Because I'm docking your pay till I get back.
Gee, thanks.
Okay, so yeah, that's classic Scrooge and Launchpad banter.
Yoo-hoo!
Okay. Yeah, that was a pretty funny cutscene.
Yoo-hoo!
Now, there's actually a secret area in the Himalayas. It's kind of in the top left corner after you climb out of the caves, after getting all 3 of the fuel regulator parts. Well, here's how you get to it. Okay, so there's this Beagle Boy right here. Oh, and there's a treasure chest. That works too. Okay, so just either sacrifice this beagle's head to get on top of here and get some jewels, and you can probably sacrifice the treasure here. Okay, so you wind up on top of the cliff here. You can't go any further, but if you press the Y button, or the A button, you can whack a fuel drum out of the way. That's off screen. And right here, you get a couple more chests full of goodies. So yeah, it's not much, but if you're looking for one more ruby to add to your money bin, that's a good way to do it. Okay, so we know the location of Mrs. Beakley for the first 3 areas, but you probably might have remembered that I completely missed Mrs. Beakley for both the Himalayan level and the Moon level. So for the Himalayan level, she's kind of halfway up this upper cave pathway right up here. So yeah, if you jump up these 2 ice blocks, you walk right here. Walk as far as you can until you can't walk any further, then you press up. There's a hidden rope there. Okay, so we got a secret outer section. There she is.
Mrs. Beakley, what are you doing here?
I thought you might get hungry, Mr. McDuck, so I baked you a little something.
You're worth your weight in gold, Mrs. Beakley. If you'll pardon the expression.
Huh, of course, but I'll find my own way out, thank you very much.
Well, the most thing she baked was the cake. About the 2 ice creams. She probably went by a Duckburg version of Dairy Queen or something. But that's basically one of the outcomes. There's a special saying that she has for another time. I'll go back and try again. Okay, let's see if Mrs. Beakley says something different this time.
Why are you here, Mrs. Beakley?
Because you're freezing, Mr. McDuck. This will keep your insides warm and toasty.
Marvelous job, as usual, Mrs. Beakley.
All right, then. Goodbye, Mr. McDuck. I'll see you back in Duckburg.
Oh yeah, ice cream! That'll keep his insides nice and toasty. Not. I love the humor in this game. Let's see if it'll say that line that I'm thinking of.
Oh, freezing me tail feathers. That's cold.
Okay, no.
Blast it! My feet are turning to icicles. Now I know what a TV dinner feels like.
Ah, he said it. He said it. Now he knows what a TV dinner feels like. Okay. Okay. That's what I wanted him to say. So while we're on board the plane that transitions from the main level of the Himalayas to the final boss stretch, where we're fighting off Glomgold.
Careful, Uncle Scrooge! Scrooge!
Yeah,
Uncle Scrooge! Pretend he's a door-to-door salesman!
I like to think what he actually does to door-to-door salesman.
This is getting a little hairy, boss.
You think?
Wow! Usually for a ride like this, you have to buy a ticket.
Knock it off, McDuck!
So yeah, this is just basically banter that happens on board the plane.
We're taking too much damage, Mr. McD.
And that's what happens if you don't
Profit on this, McDuck!
swing off bombs fast enough.
Ah!
You show him, Mr. McD.
This bucket in the air, Launchpad. We're almost there. Don't write checks you canna cash, Glomgold. You haven't seen the last of me, McDuck!
Alright, so that was just some extra banter from the plane ride.
You sure showed him.
So yeah, this is nothing much. Just a couple of quick, witty remarks. like the door-to-door salesman thing. Just deal with them like you do door-to-door salesman. that really got a chuckle out of me. Just like with the Himalayas, there was a secret room in the moon level that I forgot to get and that I forgot to explore. Either that or I just completely missed it. Okay, so this oil drum right here, I thought it was just insignificant. But you can actually knock it in here and use it as a stepping stone to get up here. And voila! Secret room. Doesn't offer much besides just a single chest with a single ruby, but every penny helps. And if you might notice, you'll notice that the quality of some parts, some sections of footage in this part have more crystal clear quality. Apparently, during the majority of my Let's Play, I had the resolution set for video instead of HDMI, so that's a bit of a bummer. I could have done this Let's Play in crystal clear quality this whole time, but I guess I learned that lesson a bit too late, so oh well. Just hope you enjoyed the game footage anyway, regardless. Here's another secret room I completely overlooked. Well, maybe not, but it's actually something underneath, so yeah. Alright, so yeah. And unfortunately there's nothing on the side, so yeah, that's good treasure hunting for the moon level, considering it's probably the lowest treasure counts of all the 5 main levels. Okay, so I was questioning whether or not Mrs. Beakley was actually in the moon level. She actually is, just in a secret compartment on board the spaceship. It's right there, right near the top right portion, just kind of off to the side. There's just a very barely visible chain here. There she is.
Why are you here, Mrs. Beakley?
Because zero gravity is the last place for bad dining habits, Mr. McDuck. There'll be no skipping meals on my watch.
If you say so.
You're worth your weight in gold, Mrs. Beakley. If you'll pardon the expression.
Go on, Mr. McDuck. No need to worry about me.
You call ice cream and cake a meal? For a dessert, probably, but not for a well-balanced diet. Not one of the 3 square meals a day type of food groups, but hey, whatever works for this game. It's good for the soul. That's what counts. And judging by the money counts, I imagine Scrooge has no soul. Okay, I'm done. Okay, during my travels, Mrs. Beakley actually had something else unique to say on the moon level. Let's see if she'll say it this time.
Mrs. Beakley, now where did you come from?
Why, from home, of course. I had to be sure you were all right in this filthy place.
Nope, never mind.
You're worth your weight in gold, Mrs. Beakley. If you'll pardon the expression.
Oh, why can't you take up golf like a normal tycoon?
Okay, well, that was kind of new. Indeed, why doesn't Scrooge just take up golf? I mean, look at this. He's got It's already got his club, so I guess that's half of the equation, so... Indeed, why doesn't he take up golf like a normal tycoon? Now, Mrs. Beakley did have a second saying on the moon level. Let's see if she'll say it this time. Get up there.
Why are you here, Mrs. Beakley?
I wanted to see what the vacuum of space would do to my pie crust, Mr. McDuck.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Oh, thank you kindly, dear.
I'll see myself out, Mr. McDuck. Don't you worry about a thing.
Yeah, well, good luck getting past the alien guards. Which begs the question, how did Mrs. Beakley get on this spaceship in the first place? Did she stow away inside the spaceship with Scrooge, Fenton, and Gyro? I mean, it's the only other logical explanation since she's in the vacuum of space and she can breathe with Oxy-Chew. Or maybe she was just abducted by these aliens for some reason. Nah, I won't think too hard about it. Okay. Alright, so considering that the green cheese of longevity was the final treasure, and we just moved right along to Mount Vesuvius right after we collected it, we got a completely different cutscene for Mount Vesuvius. But this is what this is the cutscene that you get after when you collect the green cheese of longevity, provided it's not the last treasure, or if you completed the game and so just going back to, well, you'll see. Okay, so this is the official ending cutscene for the moon level when they return to Scrooge's office. Right after we tally up the score for the moon level. Alright.
Ew, what is that smell, Uncle Scrooge?
It's the green cheese and longevity, lads. One flake of this stinky cheese can yield an entire gross of anti-aging supplements.
Gross is right.
Ugh, aye. The smell could drop the petals from a petunia. Still, it's nothing you can't get used to, if there's money to be made.
Speak for yourself, Uncle Scrooge. Yeah, we gotta get out of here.
A grand idea, boys. Which treasure shall we chase after next?
So yeah, if that's not the last treasure that you collect, or if you've completed the game, that's the cutscene that you get when you complete the moon level. Yeah, and seriously, how is a piece of ranted cheese worth $1 million? That's what I want. I mean, how can it even have anti-aging possibilities if it turned a moon rat into, like, a freak of nature? Just... so many questions, so little time. And speaking of time, I think that'll wrap it up for this part. It's been just a hodgepodge of missing cutscenes that have kind of gotten a few chuckles out of me. Just more great writing by the writing team for this game. Okay, so with that, there's only one last loose end to tie up. Filling up Scrooge's money bin to the brim. But I'll be doing all of that off-screen, mostly. I'll just skip to the good parts of me collecting of Scrooge swimming in his money bin, and as his numbers increase, so will the treasure inside, obviously. So, the final parts will come with the cherry on top of this short but sweet game, filling up Scrooge's money bin all the way to the top with 100 million simoleons, which will be in the next part. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, and if you would leave a comment and or like, that would be most appreciated. Until next time on Ducktales Remastered, this is ToonGamer23, signing out. And it just really doesn't make any sense how just he can collect the treasures over and over again, and they never show up in his vaults. I mean, canonly, they're all basically destroyed thanks to Magicka, but, and before you ask, I checked, there are no additional cutscenes for the Money Bin or Mount Vesuvius. I pretty much went through them all. So, yeah. And Mrs. Beakley is nowhere to be found in either of those locations either. So I forgot to go over a couple more last-minute cutscenes. Apparently, there were a couple of transitions where Scrooge transitioned to the Cloud mini-level, but you never got to see... you never got to see the transition between here and the moon. But let's go over each of them, starting with the Amazon. I know we've gone over a couple of them already, you've already seen them, but just to satiate my OCD, let's go through all 5 major levels and see their transition cutscenes. Okay, so it says Scrooge and Launchpad for the Amazon level. And this is all of them traveling to Transylvania, Webby included. Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and Webby, and Launchpad, and Scrooge. Alright, flying by helicopter to the African mines are Huey, Dewey, and Louie, Scrooge, and Launchpad. In their helicopter. Okay, and this is for the Himalayas. Instead of a helicopter, Scrooge and Launchpad are flying in Launchpad's biplane. Awesome stuff. Okay, so this is the cutscene for the moon. So they do take a spaceship all the way to space. Also beautiful backdrop, I might add. Okay, so Glomgold is with Scrooge and Launchpad this time. Okay, so that was all the transitional cutscenes. Okay, so with that was all the transitional cutscenes without Scrooge dropping by the cloud section. Which I've already gone over a couple of times unintentionally, so there's really no reason to go back there. Most you can collect from there anyway is just 88,000. It's not much.